Tuesday, September 20th. We are LinkedIn Live, rocking it out with Don and Mike. We're going to bring you a golden nugget. We've prepared for this meeting so you can walk away with one actionable idea. Today, I guarantee you will walk away with a couple things that you can do
Mhm.
almost immediately. If not while we're doing it, you're on your laptop, your desktop, create two windows, have your LinkedIn open, and just get down and dirty with us, right, Don?
Yeah, I think that's the key is we want to try to have as much value in the shortest period of time that is actionable right after the program and really take you to an awareness and a level that we're operating at that's available to everybody if they understand the strategic steps involved with doing it and really the context that goes with it. So it's really knowing and then understanding how it relates. So with that, we're really going to be focused on something that's foundational, which is your ideal customer, right? And just really quickly, my definition of what I consider an ideal, let's say, connection first, and let's work on connection before we get to customer, is somebody that I would love to have a phone call with if we connected. And if someone connects with me and it's from a different part of the world, a different industry, something totally foreign to me, there's no reason for either one of us, right? So, anyways, that's how I view the entry. Now, Mike will go into how you formulate that definition of your own ideal customer.
But go back, Don. Let's take it back a little bit. Let's take
Mm-hmm.
it back to brick and mortar, you in business.
Mm-hmm.
Did you spray and pray to try to cultivate business? Or did you have limited time and resources? And of course, in the beginning, you don't know who's your ideal customer, but then you figure it out and then you get very narrow. Like, what did you do?
Well, that's a great question. And what you ended up doing, let's say in the brick and mortar days, is you created an opportunity for a customer who wasn't yours yet, but would be based on how you communicate. And so that lesson learned still applies today. To your point, yeah, back then, if you were able to leverage newspapers and monopolize locations and have your ad spread over 5 locations, no one had a chance. So all you had to find is leverage somewhere. It wasn't what I did. It was available that other people didn't understand. And LinkedIn Live fits perfectly into the same scenario, right? If you're going after the same customer, but you're doing it on cutting edge media, on future platforms, and you're competing against legacy people who are still meeting at Panera's, right? Or still getting a Starbucks. That's the key. So I think you make a great point, Mike, because it's not just the who is your ideal customer, is how are you going to interact in the future with your ideal customer? And is that a level up from what they're used to? And now can you expose them to opportunities that they could never get at one-on-one in Panera's, right? Especially time. So it all has to come down to time, results, and doing something that really motivates you to keep doing it every day when something isn't working as well as it should. So those are some of the key elements. And here's the other thing. If you really acquire your ideal customer, they'll make your life easier and better for it, right?
Yeah, yeah. The sometimes no sale is better than a bad sale. Not sometimes, all the time. Bringing in the wrong person just because you want a sale will end up biting in the butt a gazillion times. So what we want to do is we want to share a screen, and there's a lot of exercise for ideal customer. If you're in the marketing world, the digital marketing world, it's Sally. She's 47. She's married. She's got 2 kids. She likes to read House and Garden. And yeah, well, I'm not discounting any of that because that's all, it's an important exercise. But it's not really that important for what we're doing on LinkedIn. because we are looking at our ideal customer from a different perspective. We're looking at our ideal customer not from an advertising perspective where we're just going to throw money out there to the world and we're trying to frame it, generally speaking, to house and garden and kids, and we're triangulating information to create an ad. That's, you do the best you can because you're trying to put an ad out that those people will be interested. It's blind. That's what we call interruption marketing, because you're people are doing whatever they're doing. You hit them with an ad, and the ad's got to be jumpy and poppy to attract them. We don't. I mean, you can do ads on LinkedIn. I don't know anyone that does, but we're not doing that. What we're doing is basically hunting. And so we know that we're going hunting, and it's in Vermont, and it's bear season. So I don't need to know it's bears that have 3 kids or 2 kids, or bears that like pine trees or maple trees. It doesn't that doesn't matter to me. All I need to know is I'm going bear hunting. I'm going to bring the right tools to catch me a bear. Now, I don't hunt, so don't go crazy on me. Um, I'm not a hunter, but we are going hunting on LinkedIn for for human beings. So we just need to know, who is it that we want to do business with. So the questions you would ask yourself, and Don, you can help me sort of brainstorm these, are: okay, if you're going after businesses, do you want businesses that are, this is one way to look at it. If you're going to look at this way, 0 to 50 people, 50 to 250, 500 to 1,000, or you want 1,000 to 10,000, or enterprise 10,000 plus. So if you're going after companies, that might be one way for you to look at it. You're going after people, Don. What would you throw in there if you're going after people?
I would, what I've learned, and is that I only want to work with final decision makers, right? And every company, whether it's one person or 10,000, has a final decision maker in it. And the key is once you can attract that person, then first of all, you've got somebody who's got authority, got experience, and probably has a vested interest in making sure there's a benefit coming out of it for the business, right? So I mean that's primary, is who can make a decision, who can make changes with their business too, right? But anyways, getting more specific to the demographic, really activity is key to me. We go over that all the time when we go into Sales Navigator, and you say, okay, let's find people that posted in the last 30 days. If they're not active on LinkedIn, they're not on LinkedIn actively. Let's just say that, not to say they won't get there, but when they do, you'll see them when they do. So the point is your goal is not to grab everything you can, but limit as much of the unnecessary as you can, right? And that's what
Yeah.
filtering does.
Yeah, and then your point's great. So you want to go after a decision maker. I mean, the I look at sales two ways: it's bottom up or top down. Top down means you're going after decision makers, and you're going to connect with them. They're going to make the decision, so they control all the power. That's top down. Bottom up is that if you have a project management software that's great, new SaaS platform. Bottom up means that you're doing such a great job teaching that you're getting people that are in the project management role that are just enthralled by this new technology, that they go up to the management and say, I saw this, it's great, we need it. So you have top down and bottom up. Now, bottom up, I say, happens just as a default of you producing great content, but I always sell top down. And I remember way back in the day in 1986, 87, when I was graduating college, and they had all these rules about your resume and this and cover letters and how to apply to jobs. And I was like, it's all bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not going in a stack with everybody else. So I did everything completely different, and it's always worked. So, how do you do something different on LinkedIn? Is if HR is kind of the peg in the hole where you need to go, and HR is, it's a C-suite position now. So, they definitely, HR people definitely wield C-suite.
Mhm.
But if ultimately that it's a big purchase and the CEO or the board that's going to enroll the CEO needs to be involved, then start going after CEOs and HR.
Mhm.
Because if you can get the CEO behind it, and then with the HR, them have to make a decision, you're going to get the yes fast. I would rather, if I had a choice between me educating the head of HR about all the great shit I can do, and
Mhm.
then that person pitching the CEO, or me pitching the CEO, there would never be a case I would ever want someone else I trained about how good I am they're never going to
Mhm.
outsell me. They
Mhm.
don't have the answers to all the questions. So,
Yeah, and they don't have the vested interests you have.
well, yeah, your vested interest is you're going to go after making the sale, right? Who knows what their interest is. They might not, they might have had an argument with the CEO last week and then they're, walking on eggshells, or the last idea they brought to the CEO was a bomb. So they have no conviction about any idea. You don't
Mhm.
have any idea, right, Don?
Mhm. Mhm. Well, here's what I'm thinking, which is really what we're talking about is next level. So you started out with bricks and mortar, and let's just say in the past, physically you had to hunt for someone, right? Now digital comes along, and now you can digitally hunt for someone, which saves you a lot of time, energy, opens up the world to you. But here's the key. What if you become attractive, and instead of hunting and searching, you attract them to you, and your message defines your demographic, right? Because the message you put out there, to your point, why do people watch ESPN? They love sports. Why do they watch news? They love news. Why do they love what we talk about? And that's why every LinkedIn Live I do, I always share the topic 30 minutes early, right? To get it out there to say, hey, today I'm talking about tagging. And so any taggers should have an interest and will probably join, but at least they know what they're getting and I know what I'm looking for. So it's really being attractive through your message, but have the medium working for you. People work too hard on themselves and they don't impact LinkedIn hard enough. You should throw yourself at LinkedIn, not at yourself. You got enough to deal without bullying and stressing and that all that bullshit about content, and it's got to be perfect. When you talk to somebody anywhere in the street, are you thinking about what you're saying? Did you plan it? It comes natural, and that's what it should be. Here's one thing that really defines demographic and its content. People think too much about content, and their content should be their thoughts. You see, everything kind of flips a little. And when it's your thoughts, it's effortless. You flip the switch, you're talking to somebody when you were talking to yourself, cost you nothing. And
Yeah.
it's efficiency. So, anyways, getting back to ideal customer, hopefully you could see all the elements that go into our decisions. And here's the thing, there is no absolute. The reason why me and Mike are so great at what we do, we understand nuance and we understand people. And everybody's a little different. And I think if you take the extra time it takes to do it right, you'll have already pre-qualified further along than you could have if you took a stab in the dark. And I think that's important. And at the end of the day, where are you today and how did you get there? And where are you going to be tomorrow if you keep doing what you did yesterday? And if you're doing great and you're knocking out a park, keep going. I always tell people don't change a winner, work it. So, anyways, Mike, thoughts?
Yeah. Let's go
Let's
over
show
just a
some.
couple places. I'm going to share my screen, and we'll go through, like, this is a sorting exercise, but I find that most people are taking way too much time doing this, so it becomes a burden to actually be able to sort quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So this is let's go back to the top level on LinkedIn, and then You could go onto your page. There's us. You see the benefit of going
Mhm.
live. We're at the top up there. But if you go here to my network, and then you pop into connections, and then you basically say, all right, I want to just do like second, not first, because I'm already connected. So this is really perfect because what we're going to do is we're looking for, like I mentioned, I'm going bear hunting. So who is my ideal customer? I just need to know it. It's like from my perspective, it's anyone that's a business owner or a thought leader, a coach or a business owner, a SaaS owner, anyone that is in a service based business is really a good potential client for me because we're storytellers. We are teaching. We are using LinkedIn's distribution as a broadcast network. So we are producing amazing content to create know, like, and trust, indoctrinate people, create inbound and layer in outbound. So without that knowledge, without that ability to communicate what makes you special and to teach, it becomes difficult because you have half the equation, which is okay. I'm just going to throw outbound at people, and we don't do that. So that's what I'm looking for. And if I look here now, I got to be able to sort fast, right? Because I don't want to take all day doing this. And my objective is to do 20 outbound a day. And so if I just look, Greg Constantine, United States, I'm focusing in basically North America right now. Chief Executive Officer at Air Company, Forbes 30 under 30. So if someone's a 30 under 30, that's good. So
Mhm.
then this would be someone that would be, okay, this is a potential for me. So good, perfect. Robert Zimbel, MBA, head of digital, VP of digital commerce, digital growth executive. Probably not ideal for me. Why? He's head of digital at some other place. So he's not really in the leadership position. Now, here's the key. I could be dead wrong and he could be ideal, but you have to weigh out you got to operate with speed. And so when you operate with speed, you're going to have the fault tolerance that's going to say, you know what? If I'm operating with speed, I'm 20% of the people I dismiss could be great. I don't care.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
instead of taking an hour, I'll take 10 minutes. And the ones that I scoop in 10 minutes and still having 50 minutes left to do other things is well worth the 20% I might miss if I'm super diligent. It's key because you can get bogged down on LinkedIn. Right, Don? We see it all the time. People are telling us, oh my God, it's taking me this long to do this. I'm like, it can't. You're out thinking it. You're making it too complicated. You got to operate with speed.
Yeah, and here's the thing. While you're doing what we're talking about doing, if your content is great as in relationship to the value, not the beauty, not the aesthetics, not the that stuff. That's where you're wasting time. If your message is clear and defined, you should be getting inbound. And that's the best, right, Mike? You always say if you want the best, be a speaker. When you're done speaking, there'll be 30 people waiting in line to share and to give you business cards. On LinkedIn Live, it's the same thing. Enough people they get attached to it, and all of a sudden they start reaching out. So the thing is you can get it from both ends at the same time, and you're constantly being busy doing something. And the busier you are, the less you worry about little stuff and little people, you know? So
Yeah.
I think that's an important aspect.
Yeah. And just
The other,
going here, this is one page, right? So this is a yes, this is a no. Vice President of National Basketball Association. Pretty cool. I don't know what that could lead to. Maybe a yes. Sales representative Hundenberg. No. Chief Executive Officer. That's like a maybe. So I'm going fast, right? Incoming analyst at Goldman. Goldman's great. No. Chief Human
Mhm.
Resource Officer. No. iHeartRadio. No. VP of Marketing. No. Looking at my next opportunity. No. Director at Apple. Billboard 40 under 40. Um, I just don't even know. So that's like a no. So I got two on the first page. Go to the
Mhm.
second page. Senior brand marketer, no. Chief executive officer at top, yes. Global head of brand strategy at TikTok. Well, maybe she wants to be on LinkedIn, so maybe that's a yes. Engineering, healthcare, recruiting, no. VP of marketing and brand strategy, no. CEO, Pura Vida. Oh, Pura Vida. I love Pura Vida. That's a high end,
Uh-huh.
expensive, fresh food place. I don't even know where these names are coming from, but this is great. So I'm 2 pages in. I got like 4 or 5, right? Danny Navarro, Google for Startups. Yeah, for sure, because this is a strategic partnership. Every one of Google for Startups needs to be crushing on LinkedIn.
Well,
Vice President.
here's a thing that you can add to it is you're looking for potential ideal clients, right? What you
Or
also have
strategic
here
part. Yeah.
is a potential for ideal thought leaders, right? Who just want to get their message out and use LinkedIn's platform. So they're not actually looking to build sales, even though that would be a collateral benefit. And the other thing about going with the CEOs and top people is they could be strategic partners for you, right? So instead of being limited to say, I'm going to go for a customer, an individual who's high up could be a thought leader, could be a strategic partner, or it could be a client, right? So you got 3 ways to win. And I think that's really the key is leverage, and how do you attract the people with enough value back, right? Because as Mike's going through people and say this looks good, this doesn't look so good, when Mike reaches out, they're making the same decisions, right? Mike looks good or he doesn't. Here's why I think I should do something with him. What's he doing? And I think that's the key is you got to expect that you're going to have to create or provide value for people to be interested in you, right? So I
Yeah.
think that's ultimate.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you're doing any type of outreach, I mean, it's like, you know, going into a bar in your single days, there's a good looking girl and you go up, but you're wearing pajamas. It's like, come on, you know, they're not even going to give you the time of day. If your LinkedIn looks like pajamas, then when you do 10 of those and they're going to say, oh, look at this pajama guy. Now, if you're wearing, something that's stylish or it's a nice suit, you might have 50-50 because you're wearing a nice suit. They might not like people in suits. Or if you're wearing something that's stylish, they might like stylish, but it's 50-50. But at least you upped your odds by 50-50 from zero. The point is, no one's going to, you can't please all the people all the time. You just got to be yourself. We always talk about that. But you got to do the work to dial in your LinkedIn. And also, you have to have content that shows you're on equal par, right?
Yeah. I mean, because that helps you qualify to them by putting out there what they'd like to hear before they do something with someone, right? So
Yeah,
in other
take
words,
this. Yeah,
uh-huh.
take this guy, right? Google
Yeah.
for startups. I'm sure this is like, some monstrous dude. Am I on par with him? No, he's probably worth, a few $100 million because he's invested in all the top startups over the last decade. So he's worth a few $100 million. So what am I going to feel like? Oh, I'm not worthy. The answer is when it comes to LinkedIn, this is my game, right?
Hmm.
He's in my house. So let's look at what I got going on here. Basically, he's got 24.95. I don't think the followers are that important, but I've got more followers, so that's good. But look what he's got going on. He's got a month ago, 2 months ago, 2 months ago. But it's so weird.
Yeah,
He's
they
not.
made he's getting 224 comments on one and then one on another.
Let's see if
You
he's.
know what it says is he doesn't know how to leverage LinkedIn.
Oh, this is how I got it. Today's a good day. Today we announced the 50 amazing recipients of our inaugural Google for Startups Latino founders. So yeah, then of course it's a huge announcement.
Uh-huh.
100K, but he's doing nothing. I mean, he's. I don't want to say he's a zero, Danny. If you're hearing this, I'm not saying you're a zero, but on LinkedIn, you need some work. But when I go LinkedIn to Danny, okay, he might be a crusher when it comes to Google and startups, but I'm a crusher when it comes to LinkedIn because I got my goods.
Hmm.
So that's what we're saying. Don and I are saying that, there's such a big opportunity on LinkedIn. If you feel like, oh, you're overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, there's a link that is always on our bottom part of right here below me. We launched this for everyone that's questioning, where do I start? How do I do it? It's called LinkTank. We meet weekly. It's a coaching program that's set up like a mastermind. It's inexplicably cheap right now. We're launched it at a price where we can help many people. We have much more expensive programs, but this one is meant to help many people really take advantage of what's happening on LinkedIn. So if you don't know, like if all this makes sense, but you're like, okay, I still don't know what to do, then
Mhm.
it's $47. Take out your credit card, put down your $47, join us. You will know. That's a guarantee. We will be breaking down what's going on your LinkedIn and giving you actionable stuff that you need specifically to do to excel. And there's no excuse not to do it, because one sale for everyone that's out there that's listening now, either live or on a replay, is got to be worth $500, $1,000. Some people it's worth 6 figures or 7 figures. So that's it, Don. It's 229.
Okay, I'll just say the final few words. I want to kind of piggyback on what Mike was saying about our opportunity is to really break it down and simplify it. If you join, you'll get to know us really well over 30 days and what we do and how we do it. And that's easier to make a decision before you start thinking, do I want to spend more money? Do I want to do more work? For $47, you don't have to go through that exercise. And if you see what we're saying makes sense, take advantage of it to make some dollars, right? And that's what we're hoping for. Is me and Mike are experts on our own. Collectively, we're a very powerful force. And I would venture to say I haven't seen two LinkedIn leaders who combine. There's plenty of LinkedIn people who are 5 million and stuff like that. But the point is, we want to be where you are, and we're not that far away from where you started, right? So it's better to be with people who are doing the same thing, working inside the weeds. But with that said, hopefully you take this ideal client. More importantly, you take some of the context that we bring you, and maybe helps you in the way you look at things. Because I think on LinkedIn, it's a way of finding a facet or a nuance someone isn't noticing and working it. And that's key. Work it, get something, work more of it, get more of it, work with people who are doing it, blah, blah, blah. So, anyways, with that said, Tuesday, have a wonderful rest of the day, and we'll talk again on Friday.
We will talk again on Friday. And yeah, then next week, I won't be on, Don, because it's Rosh Hashanah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for everyone who doesn't know, it's the kind of the reset of the year for the Jewish religion. It's a very powerful time to look back at the last 12 months and set yourself up, connect with the energy for the next 12 months. And that's what I'll be doing. So hopefully I'll be inspired with some new, fresh ideas coming through. The following, I might be missing 2 Tuesdays in a row, because then 7 days later it's Yom Kippur. So it might be just Fridays for me for a couple days, a couple weeks. But anyway, if you don't see us, we'll miss you dearly. We're thinking about you.
And
Feel
we'll
like
be
that.
working hard to get with you when we do get with you. So, want to thank everybody for tuning in. More importantly, share this with others. It makes a big difference. Sharing is caring. So, with that said, uh, hope you take away some great, valuable opportunities here that you can apply, and let us know when it works. Let us know when it doesn't work. Either way, we learned something.
Thank you, everyone.